All right. So, hello, everyone. Today we just watched Switzerland and Qatar, and overall, the game itself seemed like it was bound to be something extremely boring. Um, right away, like in the beginning of the game, Qatar had a chance to score a goal. They all of a sudden, I think he tried to take it on his right foot and then put it through the keeper's legs. That didn't end up working. Keeper was able to essentially like sit on it, and then from there, I think they ended up getting a penalty because the keeper came a bit late. They thought it might have been offsides, but it wasn't. They ended up getting a penalty in like the 17th minute, and then Bree and Bolo just goes in and knocks it clean, right? And it looked effortless. And effortless is essentially a theme for what happened for the rest of the game because a lot of the game looked effortless. It was dry. It was boring. It was hot. It looked really hot. Qatar had a few chances to score, and they had really good chances, but so did Switzerland. Switzerland had so many chances to score, and at some point, it seemed like the overall vibe in the game, like just watching like towards the end of the first half into maybe the whole second half, it just felt like Switzerland started to treat the game like a friendly, and it didn't look like there was any way in for Qatar to come in and get a goal, but somehow, some way, they started to really just pick it up in the final minutes of the game, and it got very, very interesting because it started to turn into just this constant onslaught of attacking, and before we know it, there was a beautiful cross with a very brave header, which led to a goal. Game overall, though, it just looked like it was really hot out there. Didn't look fun to be there, I'll be honest. Initially, stadiums looked quite empty. I was really just like, wouldn't make me too mad overall because that just means the people who are reselling tickets didn't get their money. But later on through the game, it looks like the seats did end up filling up. So that was really good to see because you need the crowd for the game, right? And the game is nothing without the crowd. So that part happened. Overall, I think Switzerland, much stronger team, should have won this game. And I think in their minds, they checked out in possibly like the 90th minute. They're like, we got this. This game is ours. But the exact opposite happened for Qatar. So Qatar was basically like, it's not over till it's over. And they ended up getting a goal. Switzerland caught sleeping, not taking their chances. And what looked like a solid and simple win for Switzerland turned into a very bitter draw. So instead of 3 points, now they're only getting one. And then Qatar, let's be honest, probably shouldn't have, drew. We didn't think they were going to win, did we? But we didn't expect them to come back so late. So that's kind of the beautiful thing about the game is when the unexpected happens. And it was good to see that because it just changed the whole mood of the game. And you saw what it meant to the Qatari player. The goalkeeper just like started crying once the game was over. And you saw the disappointment in the Swiss team's face. The coach was very, disappointed. And, as if you are from Switzerland or you are Swiss and you see this, right? I mean, let me know, right? It must be like a punch in the stomach. I know what this feels like. Of course, I've been a U.S. fan for a very long time, so I know what it's like. I remember in the 2009 Confederations Cup when we were in the final, beating Brazil by 2-0, and we ended up losing that game 3-2, which was just absolutely devastating to watch that happen. It was just like watching the world crumble before your eyes. So not nearly as bad. It's just a draw, and it's tournament football. It's the group stage. I think Switzerland is obviously the strongest team out of that group, but I guess it kind of depends on how serious they decide to take that because, Switzerland is that kind of team that can just turn it up in the final 10 minutes and it just becomes complete total 90. And that's why I was maybe a bit surprised to see them sit back and essentially, it just seemed very relaxed. It seemed careless. It seemed like it was a friendly. It felt like a friendly. It felt like it didn't really matter. And that's how I watched the game essentially. I felt like the whole game was just it felt like Qatar wasn't good enough to do anything, and it felt like Switzerland didn't really care after they scored their goal. They were already had their mind on the next game. So let me know what you think if you watched the game. Was Qatar the better team? Was Switzerland the better team? What did you like about it? I think Afif really need to rely on that guy a lot more moving forward. I think Switzerland just got to take their chances moving forward. I mean, you're the best team in the group. Come on, bro. You know what I mean? Let's come on, guys. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm Mike. Take care. See you in the next game. That's Brazil, Morocco. We're going to go ahead and watch that right now, and we'll be back with the update. Peace.